Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Leena. I'm a consultant neurologist and I'm going to talk about stroke awareness. The prevalence of stroke is 5.7 million deaths globally, and in India almost 4,300 strokes per day. That is almost 3 strokes per minute happens. So what is a stroke? Stroke is caused by the disruption in the blood flow to a part of the brain which leads to hypoxia and necrosis. There are 2 types, as we know. If there is a rupture of the blood vessel, it ends into a hemorrhagic stroke, and if there is a occlusion of a blood vessel, it leads to the ischemic stroke, which we call an ischemic infarct. Now, what are the risk factors for stroke? Hypertension with a blood pressure more than 140/90 millimeters mercury, diabetes mellitus, in patients who have an uncontrolled diabetes with an HbA1c more than 6.5, dyslipidemia, obesity with a BMI of more than 25, family history of stroke, and there is a high risk of stroke in patients who had a previous transient ischemic attack or a previous infarct. Other risk factors like unhealthy diet, lack of physical activity, smoking, alcoholism. Now COVID has been one of the risk factors for young strokes and large vessel occlusion. What is transient ischemic attack? Transient ischemic attack symptoms are very similar to the stroke, but they last only for 60 minutes. And this is a medical emergency. The patients should get an immediate medical attention, because 40% of TIA patients will definitely end up into a stroke within 90 days. So it's important to admit the TIA patients. What are the diagnostic workup, etiology workup which we have to do? One, as we know, MRI remains the best investigation. MRI brain with MRA, that is MR angiogram of the neck and intracranial vessels, and a 12-lead ECG to rule out any arrhythmias or MI, and a Holter and a transesophageal echography will help to rule out any patent foramen ovale or atrial defects. And the routine blood investigation, which includes the complete blood count, the liver function test, renal function test, and HbA1c and a fasting lipid profile, and D-dimer and pro-BNP cardiac markers and other routines. Now, stroke management. Stroke is an emergency. Time is brain. So we need to go through the FAST protocol, should be educated to all the public that they have to arrive to the hospital within 3 to 4.5 hours of an infarct. As I said, time is brain. In a casualty, the patient should be immediately taken care, IV access, rise tube and RT and Foley should be inserted, and the stroke team should be initiated. The stroke team usually includes a radiologist, the radiology department. The lab should be initiated to give us a fast report and a PTNR, APTT and platelets, and immediately after the imaging, that is CT brain or an MRI diffusion weighted imaging, after ruling out a bleed, start according to the NIHS score, go for a thrombolysis. IV thrombolysis agents, we have the most beautiful agents, the Alteplase, which can be given as infusion within 4.5 hours of an infarct, and the latest one which is more helpful during the COVID times is the tenecteplase, which is given as a bolus infusion. The time limit for a tenecteplase is, unfortunately, in Indian guidelines it's only 3 hours, whereas in American guidelines still a few places they use up to 4.5 hours of an acute infarct. Now once after an IV thrombolysis is given, immediately shift the patient to a center where there is a facility for mechanical thrombectomy using a clot retrieval process. In basilar artery thrombosis, even around 12 hours after an infarct, the thrombus can be relieved and the patient will be free from a focal neurological deficit. So that's the acute management. Now our old conservative management, if we lose the 12 hours period of an acute stroke where we can't thrombolize the patient, neither we can take for a mechanical thrombectomy, then the old dual antiplatelets and a high dose statins comes in. And in a specific cardioembolic stroke, the management varies. Here we replace with an anticoagulant so that the patient doesn't have a further stroke. Now, post-stroke on the day 3 in an ICU, once you're ready to shift the patient out to the ward, start an active rehabilitation. Neurorehabilitation is very, very important. Twice departmental physiotherapy should be initiated, focusing on a limb physiotherapy if there is a hemiplegia, or if the patient has an ataxia, go for a gait training and balance training. Along with that, if there is a dysarthria or aphasic syndromes like in Broca's aphasia, Wernicke's aphasia, go for a speech therapy, which is very important. Now, what are the other problems we face after a stroke? Usually, the death of the patient is more due to a sepsis or an aspiration pneumonia or a urosepsis rather than the stroke itself. So that part should be taken care carefully. Go for a rise tube feeding very early in the disease and never ever remove the rise tube without the consent of our ENT specialist. The next part is the urosepsis. Most of the time our patients end up in a long-term Foley's catheter, actually, which can be avoided. So Foley's catheter should be removed as early as possible. Patient should be trained for bladder training. Bladder training means the bystanders should be advised or taught to give a urinal or a bedpan every 2 hours, which is kept for 15 minutes. And then, as we know, the bedsore should be taken care. If there is a good nursing care, the patient will not develop a bedsore. So frequent change in position, the alphabet, and frequent ambulation. Ambulate the patient as early as possible will save the patient in a lot of ways. So in this video, I actually wanted to highlight regarding the stroke thrombolysis, and it's high time we have to start the IV thrombolysis in and around Marthandam. So I hope this video by our Marthandam IMA will help us to start a thrombolysis with the help of our nearby radiologist. We can definitely achieve it. So there should be more awareness program for to the patient, to the public, what they have to do within 4 hours of a stroke, within 3 to 4 hours of a stroke. They have to report to the hospital immediately, and then definitely we can try for we could start this IV thrombolysis. Thank you for patient listening.